Yeah, you got hit by Unisonic. So there's a couple of things here, right? I think the general idea here is that you need to make your turns matter when you get them, right? So hit confirming in the most painful possible way for your opponent, right? So for example, the one far M you missed at the beginning, where, you gotta find those hit confirms into lariats. And if you have the meter, you gotta use ultimate lariat instead to get like more damage, more corner carry, get Oki off the hit, right? Instead of just getting a little bit of damage. When you find the turn, make it count as much as you possibly can, and nothing is more important to Ladiva than getting a turn, right? Spending a brave points to get a turn, amazing. Spending meter to get a turn, oh my god. Spend 200% meter if you could, right? So you're being really precious. You're spending a lot of time at 100 meter with Ladiva, and when you do spend it, you spend it for you lariats in neutral, which is, listen, it works sometimes, but it's a very risky option. If you're getting someone who's just throwing projectiles at you, and you have 100 meter, kill them, right? Hit them with the SBA. All right, folks, we are back for more replay review. Been a little bit, I think, since we did one of these. I mean, like a week or something, a week and a half. But yeah, we're back with Doro, who is getting impatient / diffed by zoners. So Doro, to my understanding, well, I know this for a fact, he plays Ladiva. I don't know if he plays any other character. Someone else is saying some Jita, possibly, or something like that. But this could be interesting. This could be, I mean, I don't think in all of these yet we have yet to do any kind of replay review for a Ladiva, so that could be cool. Normally I keep it to very fundamental concepts, right? Can't really talk too much about deep character specifics unless we're talking about like S ranks or something. But if this is Ladiva replay, then we'll be able to actually talk about some serious details here. So let's see. Let me hop into these. I love the YouTube videos more than anything because I can end up, I can use the space bar to pause and unpause like this. I can go frame by frame, The Discord videos oftentimes do end up memeing on my ass a little bit. If we kill our enemies over there, will we finally be free? What a time to be alive. He did mark this as content okay, right? Yeah, he did. Okay. That's cool. Attack on Titan. What's going on, Night Chaos? Hello. You're someone that I know whose name is different, right? I always forget, but what an intro. Yeah, what a time to be alive. Quite the anime. It's my understanding a lot of people do not really like how this anime ended, but I feel it right now, man. I just barely lost my promos for Masters, so. Oh, it is Ladiva, okay. Whoa, bro, he's got the whole goddamn setup right here. Also, Speedy Blue 101, thanks for the follow, man. Hope you're enjoying the stream as we do some replay review here. Okay, so Doro playing against Bekamon on the Bubs. So he's saying he's getting diffed by zoners. Bubs, I mean, definitely in this matchup, right? Bubs should play. Bubs is another one of those kind of like, sort of mid-rangey, somewhat all-rounder characters, but like, definitely leans a little bit more on that. Yeah, like on that sort of normal zoner and then using the needles. So, makes sense. So, I mean, we talk about, a lot of the times, we talk about, like, being the aggressor, being the defender, right? And it varies matchup to matchup. It doesn't vary here, right? Ladiva is the aggressor in every single matchup in the game. Even the mirror, right? So, like, we talk about the concept of, like, oh, yeah, who likes the mid-range more? Like, who wants to keep away? Who wants to, like, run up to you? Ladiva is Ladiva is the bottom of the, like, in terms of the spectrum of how often you are. Steam maintenance up right now, that's good. Okay, so we are dodging it. That's my intention. No, like, in terms of the spectrum of, like, how often you're going to be the aggressor versus the defender, and if you haven't heard any of this concept mentioned in one of the other replay reviews, I'm basically talking about, like, who's playing keep away, like, who needs to get in, and who's actually, like, everyone in this game likes being in your face, right? Everyone in this game loves having you in the corner and having you block them, sure. But who would rather maintain the mid-range, right? Who likes the mid-range or, like, the really far range better? And there's a spectrum there, like Gran is going to be the aggressor in a lot of matchups, but if he's fighting like Seox or something, maybe he has to play a little bit more defensively. Ladiva is always, like, there is no character where Ladiva is not the aggressor and the person is trying to keep Ladiva away from them. Even Vasaraga wants to keep Ladiva away from him, right? At basically all times. So, Bekamon, the reason I bring this up is Bekamon immediately backdashing like this is what he should be doing, for sure. He needs to get like backdash into black flies, yeah, right? Keep Ladiva the hell away from you, but we're focusing on Doro here, so let's see what we can think. So, unfortunately, right, this is where the bad news comes in, is Ladiva is the aggressor in every matchup, and she's not very good at it, right? When she gets in, oh boy, but she is not very good at this whole getting in thing, right? So I want us, as always, how it is, and whenever you lose your turn, whenever you get hit, right, that's the big things we're going to zoom in on. There might be some more Ladiva specific stuff that I can talk about, but those are the big things. So, right, I mean, right there, right, very good interruption. I mean, black flies, you can't do this in your face, right? It's true. Right, that it has startups. This is actually a very good, not sure if this is a reaction or just a fuzzy match or something. But this is very good by Doro. Problem is, he didn't convert this, right? I'm not sure if this is, so headbutts, you're too far away for headbutts here, right? Headbutts is simply just not going to link. You could have done EX Lariats, right? EX Lariats will always, unless they're crouching, fair enough. I guess there's nothing that's guaranteed with Ladiva. If they're standing, EX Lariats will never not link, right? You always get the cancel into EX Lariat will always get you the hit here. And at that point, by the way, that's great. It's like now suddenly you have Bubs basically in the corner. That round is going really well for you, right? Bubs is going to have a bit of a hard time when anyone is going to have a bit of a hard time when Ladiva's got you in the corners on top of you like that. Instead, you missed the conversion, and you run up, you run up and get kicked out of it, and now suddenly it's like that one little. The reason we're 33 seconds in, and I've been paused and talking for like 4 minutes, is because the thing about Ladiva, right? And I make this mistake often too, but it's unfortunately like it's just by her very nature, the character is not going to get very many turns. That's a good thing for the balance of the game, by the way. I'm not saying but it's a bad thing for the character. By her very nature, she is not going to get very many turns. So when you get something like this, like you played well here, right? You played well, you found an opening, right? When you get something like this, you need, especially against one of these like zoner type characters, you need to capitalize on this. You need to like kill Beelzebub off this, right? Her one chance potential is incredibly high, but you need to get that one chance, right? You had your chance right here, and you did drop it. Now, again, just react forehead is not good advice, but like it is so critical with this character that I am going to be like just react forehead, right? I am going to say, yeah, you have to, when you get these stray hits, you have to convert them, because there's a world where you just, for missing this and getting kicked right here, we haven't seen the rest of the round, there's a world you just die, right? There's a world you just like never get back in on Bubs. If Bekomon's playing right, you just never get back in on him, you never get a chance, and you die in the corner. It's beginning, it's happening, right? You're getting spaced out, your 2U whiffed, right? I'm not gonna really pause too much. Okay. Brave counter is the way you can possibly find another hit here. Okay, I'm not just gonna let the whole round run here. So you're getting kind of like staggered out, right, from here. So you got hits, right? And now at this point, yeah, sure, some more black flies, 6XL, far end, it's a good button. Black flies, yeah, so you're trying to interrupt again, but he's spacing his pressure out very well, right? 2U, so I like these magical things called hit confirms. Yeah, they matter a lot, unfortunately, especially with Ladiva, right? Just because, again, there's a really good chance Doral might never get another chance in this round. That might have been his chance. And if he got it, it would have been horrible for Beko, but. So 2U here, right? I like it. I like the use of 2U just because 2U is, so what Doral is doing to here, where he's just like 6XLing and spacing out his pressure and 6XLing and spacing out his pressure, right? This is something that Ladiva has a very hard time dealing with. The button you have that deals with this is 2U, right? I think improving your ability to hit confirm is okay advice. Yeah. Again, it's more so, again, it's not just for the sake of getting damage, it's for getting turns, which are a very, very valuable commodity for Ladiva. But yes. So what he's doing to you here, the answer to this is 2U. Unfortunately, not quite from there, right? He's just barely out of range there, right? But even though you slightly miscalculated the range on this, I don't mind this 2U that much. It is Ladiva's, I need to use it more. I think most Ladivas I watch need to use it less, but I need to use it a little bit more for sure, because if someone knows what they're doing, and if someone is properly spacing out their offense against Ladiva, 2U becomes essentially your only option. And it's a good option in many ways. It's 7 frames, it's a low, obviously, it hard knockdowns on hits, it gets you out of the corner, it gets you to, gets your turn back. A hard knockdown right in front of Ladiva, that's her shit. That's what you're looking for. The problem is, and moves very far, right? The problem is it's not cancelable, and it is minus 20 on block and like minus 40 on whiff, right? So it is a very high risk, high reward move, but that's the character. I think you have to accept that. So I'm okay with that. You misspace it, but I like that use of 2U right there. Okay, so I don't like this, right? So you use the Brave counter. Ladiva has to use these Brave counters to get turns, because like it's kind of like she can't really otherwise very easily, right? But then why'd you stop here? Why'd you stop? Like you were chasing him, right? You 6XL'd him, you tried to jump away, you caught him. Why'd you back up here? Trying to bait a DP, maybe? I mean, like, maybe you were trying to bait a DP. This is what I'll call losing your turn. You lost your turn right here, so that's why we're pausing and talking about it. Like, maybe you're trying to bait a DP, sure, but like, realistically, again, man, you found a second turn. You used that Brave counter to get yourself a second turn, and you just gave it up, right? You can't be doing this. You have to, like, when you like, this is a good Brave counter, right? You run after him, 6XL, perfect. You didn't get the full hit because he jumped, sure, but like, you're still your turn. You just keep running after him. If he DPs you here, it's data, right? That's something you can use, right? Like, giving up your turn, it's a universal thing. If you are too fixated on baiting DP, you just end up giving up a bunch of your turns for nothing, right? But again, doubly so, Ladiva doesn't get turns, man. Like, you need to like hold on to your turns like they're made of goddamn gold, and so. And also true, yeah, it's not like Beko has been incredibly DP prone or anything so far, but yeah, see, now you got Unisonic out of it, now you're back in the corner, you have to spend another Brave point if you want. Ooh, or, I mean, that is good, dude. This is a mistake that Beko keeps making. Maybe not a mistake, but they keep checking your reactions. But you've already shown them that you're willing to match on these gaps, right? So if anything, maybe try, like, they should check to see if you're reacting or just matching on gaps. Beko should be trying to frame trap you here, but instead they keep doing the black flies, and you keep killing them for it, so that's good. There's another chance, okay. So what are we doing with this? Sure. Little notes, right? You could get a little bit better corner carry here by doing a 6XL here. It's a bit of a tough link. You can 6XL and then do like close M, right? Or you could do like close L there and then close M, right? But yeah, like you get a bit more corner carry. Not a big deal, right? Just a slight optimization that could help. Yeah, so that's the problem, right? This is unfortunately a real thing. So he back techs here. If someone wonder if spending alt meter here for further carries better, I was just gonna talk about that, Mr. Junior Jam, because the problem with EX Lariat, if Bekamon is smart, right? If you're in the mid screen and you get EX Lariated by Ladiva, you should back tech. Why? Because now Ladiva, if she just runs at you like this is fake, right? There's a big gap here, right? She's slow enough that she can't actually chase you here, right? So if you back tech, if you neutral tech, if you just like land on the ground, right? Then she has like real Oki off EX Lariat. If you back tech, she doesn't, right? She's slow enough that she can't actually keep up with the back tech, and there's a gap here. So for that reason, that's why you really might have considered, you have 100 meter here, right? You have 100 meter, you're not spending it on super. So you could just do U Lariat here to get more corner carry. What about using the 2H combo as well for more corner carry? What would the starting hit look like here? Because that's 2H is a very finicky button in terms of its horizontal range. I think it would have worked here. It might have worked here. It might have worked here. Definitely a consideration. But 2H, you have to be like real up in their face for 2H. I think 2H might have whiffed if he did it here. But the safer option, you're right. You could have saved meter and done 2H. The safer option, though, is to spend to get the second headbutt, right? And then do U Lariat there. Because otherwise, again, you got, I'm gonna keep repeating this mantra, right? Because especially, this goes, so, making the most of your turn is important for all characters. It is doubly important for Ladiva. It is triply, quadruply important for Ladiva against the exact kind of characters that Dora was talking about here, these zoner type characters, right? So, spend your meter, man. You're at 100 meter, right? Make it count. Make it count. And obviously, by the way, Dora has gotten a lot better since this. He's S++ 5 in this clip. He's recently gotten to Master. So it's possible he's doing a lot of this, but I'm just going to do it anyway. It's good advice for all Ladivas, not just for Dora, even if he doesn't need it anymore. Yeah, so here, did you have headbutts here? You did, okay. So I mean, again, you probably know this combo at this point, but yeah, I mean, here you do two hits of the auto combo into 2 headbutts, into far M, into clothesline. If you don't think you're gonna get the clothesline back, but you just know it was off for all you Lariats, you will get it back. Yeah, so just like 2 hits, headbutt, you know, 1 hit into far M right there, instead of doing that. Because again, that gives you better Oki. It leaves you right in their face instead of right here, where you just kind of sent him off, and now you have all this distance between you that is so awkward for Ladiva to close with her like slow move speed, right? Okay. Yeah, I mean, Unisonic is a little bit tough to deal with. I mean, 623 will work against it if you're quick on the draw, like the anti-air grab. It comes in at the perfect angle for 623. But if it's fast too, right? Like the 623L is 7 frames, 623U is 6 frames, right? So it's much faster than your 2H. But if you're a little slow on the draw, you get counter hit. But it could be worth it as an attempt. I would not try to 2H it, right? 2H is gonna be a bit of, you have to be pretty early on the draw to 2H. You could do the Gabagool. You could jump up, right? You could jump up and try and air grab him. But again, that's also a bit reliant on timing, right? I think your best option is to probably try and 623 this, right? But Unisonic is a slightly difficult move for Ladiva to deal with, I think. He doesn't have like a DP to just like get her off him, right? Or get him off her, rather. Okay. Little note about karma in general, though. You kind of like, you don't have that much time. If you jump this, it doesn't pull you in, right? So like instead of getting pulled in, you can try to spot dodge this too, but I find it very inconsistent. If you just jump this, right? You can like forward jump it even, right? And then like JH him on the way down for a full combo. You probably could have killed Beko for doing this, actually. All right, so it's a quick note there. Again, it really is like every little opportunity matters with Ladiva, man, because she doesn't get that many of them. So when you find them, you like, and especially if your opponent makes a mistake, I think like right there you could call doing karma that up close. It's not a mistake, but it's a reaction check, right? It's a risk that Beko took. Keep on spot dodging the ones that aren't the old version and dying for it. It can work, but the timing is very finicky. Whereas if you jump it here, right, you're just like safe. Did I lose it? Oh, I think I already went past it. It's fine, but yeah, you get the idea. Ooh, okay. I mean, yeah, listen. I might U-Lariat here too. I feel you. You just want to get a hit. But yeah, unfortunately, it is a very slow startup move. Problem with that, because of 623U, slowing time makes dive kicks hit you if you don't frame perfect it. The thing is, though, Cray, 623U is active for like 9 frames. So I think even with the slowdown, I think you'll be fine. I don't think frame perfect is the way to describe that at all. 623U is an incredibly active grab. Let me look up the exact frame data real quick here. But even with the slowdown, it's active for like a funny amount of time. Hold on a second. Ladiva. Devoted Body Slam, is that the one? 5 frames. Okay, so not quite as much as I... Oh, no, that's the heavy version. What is the ultimate version? 5 frames, yeah. So it's 5 frames. But it's active for quite a long time, right? So I don't think you... Yeah, it's quite... In that exact above and in front of you hitbox where Bubs is coming in, it's quite large hitbox-wise, and it's quite active. If you do it too early, sure, yeah, but... If you're reacting too early, that's a different problem. You can then like do 623L or something. I mean, 623L is also... If in that case, Cray, you could argue that 623L is 1 frame slower, doesn't have the slowdown, and is also 5 frame active, and doesn't cost you 50 meter either. So if you're too quick with it, you can just like 623L instead, right? But mostly your problem's gonna be reacting too slowly, probably. But yeah, also just on this U-Lariat, U-Lariat is unfortunately not a very good move to hit in that situation. It would have killed if it hit, right? But it is. Because the same thing that makes it very good against like Vayne's shield, that being that it like the hitbox comes out really late, she runs for a bit, makes it very bad in these sorts of like mid-screen, both people throwing something out options, right? For to use 2H or the EX version of 623, the EX version is slower. If you're not gonna use the, so let me just pull this up real quick. If you're not gonna use the ultimate version, I would use the light version, right? Because so the ultimate version or the EX version rather. This is not true. Interesting. This is wrong. Is this GBSR? Okay. Hold on a second here. Let me just. Oh, you signed out. Yeah. That's them all being 9 frames there is not correct. Hold on a sec. Let me possibly. I'll load this up and we'll keep going. But I'm pretty sure that Dustloop is wrong there. 623L. I might be wrong. But I believe that 623L is faster than 623H. But I could be wrong. Let's see. Let's get Ladiva on here. We're taking a quick detour here, just because, like, I mean, dealing with Unisonic in the Bubs match is going to be a big deal, right? So, if I remember correctly, I believe, maybe, Oh, no. Hold on. The information on Dustloop is wrong, but I think I'm also wrong. I think it's 7 for light, 6 for heavy, and 5. No, it's 6 for this, isn't it? Okay, now I'm confusing myself. So let me just, like, have Ladiva jump and we can figure it out, right? So that's 6. Okay, yeah, that's 6. That's 10? Am I stupid? Really? Wait, so Dustloop is wrong, but even... I could have sworn this was 7. Wait, they're all 10? Tuesday hits different, apparently. Wait. Huh? They're all 10? So Dustloop was wrong, but I thought Dustloop was... Yes, they're all 10. What do you... Why did I have in my head that the light one was like 7? That makes a lot of sense. Where did I confuse myself for this? How strange. Huh. Never mind. Okay, well, we were all wrong. What do you know? What am I thinking? I could have sworn that one of them was 7 frames. Well, misinformation. God, I love spreading misinformation on the internet. They're different than vanilla? Yeah, I guess so. So Dustloop is still wrong, but actually they're overestimating it. It's 10 frames now. Okay, so this is 6, which I thought it was, but I could have sworn the light one was 7. Never mind. I'm very wrong. Yeah, cool. 7 on light, 12 on medium, 12 on 10 on heavy. They're all just 10. Really? I could have... How odd. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Never mind. Well, they're all 10. So yeah, I mean, even with that in mind, though, I mean, still, like, if they're all 10, and they're all, I imagine, they all have 5 active frames? Is that right? Yeah, they all have 5 active frames. So, that's the grounded one? Yeah, I mean, I'm not thinking about, maybe I am confusing it, because this is 7, right? Maybe I'm confusing it with that. But I thought the grounded one was 7. Anyway, the point is, if they all have 5 active frames, and they all have the same startup, right? Then yeah, just, like, use the light one. Why not? In that case, L is better for the Oki? Yeah, exactly. And then if you're not reacting too early, then U is going to be, I mean, that 4 frame difference is going to help a lot, right? And U has 5 active frames to the rest of them. Okay, cool. Well, who knows? Who would have thought? Who would have thought? I was incredibly wrong. Good thing we actually checked that. I learned something today. That's why you gotta, you know, instead of just showing, I like to tell, and instead of just telling, I like to show. And that's a good example of why right there. By the way, we're 1 minute and 30 seconds into this replay, and it has been 18 minutes. So, oops. But sure. Okay, good. SPD. I'm gonna move this along just a little bit here. If at least if there's nothing new to talk about necessarily, right? What happened here? Why did you lose your turn here? Oh, okay. I mean, don't do this. I did this. I just did this today when I might do a video. But like, if they're already crouching, this is a wish, right? You're just hoping that they stand up. Bad idea, right? You can try and like use it to cheat your turn, but no, just don't do this. This is bad, right? If anything, you should have gotten punished for this, right? Becco got unk checked here, but you lost your turn. I do it too because I'm stupid, but it's bad. It's bad. Don't do it. Yeah, and unfortunately, Bubs is a tough one because Bubs actually, his far H and like his 2H, like he has so many good anti-airs that actually JM does struggle a bit in this matchup to like cheat your way through the neutral. It could still work, by the way. I would probably say, you know, the doctor ordered a little bit more JM even here, but Bubs in particular is one of the hardest characters to just run up in JM in this game because of how good his far H is, more so than anything. That little wing that, I mean, I think it's his far H, that little like wing that comes out and forwards. Okay, nice combo. What the hell? Okay, sure, yeah. Ah, okay, but 6XL, you don't get a combo off 6XL unless you like late hit it. Well, you could have done 6XL far L Raging Strike here, and he's in the corner, so it would have worked. That would have worked. But you can't get close M unless they're crouching or unless you late hit it, which you were not spaced out far enough to do. The easiest thing to do here is just to far M him, right? Like far M into headbutts works here. Technically the safest thing is what you did, but then you far L and then you Raging Strike, and then you convert that in the corner, right? Again, you got lots of little missed chances here, right? Which is gonna add up. Okay, sure. I like the JU though. Again, honestly, I mean, if you found this in case he did recover, I mean, 6XM recovers pretty slow, right? But like a JM or something is gonna hit earlier, gonna be more guaranteed to be safe though. He like 6XM, you jumped early enough, and the 6XM has a long enough animation like recovery that it's probably fine. But okay, not bad. Good round. Oh, yeah, that button right there. I think that's his far H. But that's the one that makes it very hard to actually. Yeah, this button makes it very hard to jump at Bubs. Again, when you're in a lot of these jumping situations, I'd use a little bit more JM. That button is stupid. That button is like truly too good. But she also kind of needs it. Right? But like if JM maybe shouldn't exist in its current state. Like if maybe like I think it's fair. I think there'll be a fair assessment. Again, you kind of got blown up for trying to U-Lariat in neutral. Listen, I do it too, but again, it is unfortunately just like it's not very good risk-reward. Even though, oh, okay, I mean, you blocked the DP, you could have like really killed him for that, right? A far M or even like a far H into headbutts or something, right? But, you got up on it at least. He's trying to fake out some anti-air attempts there. Getting you to not expect the Unisonic when he finally does do it. Understandable. You're playing relatively patient in neutral, right? Which I think is good. It's like when you find your openings, you're not like capitalizing on them quite as much as you should, right? Yeah, I mean, here you got... You were trying to hit like a 2M on the way in or something to check him? Yeah, you were. And you got 6XL. That happens. I don't think that's like a bad... You have to try and check them in on the way in. 2M is quite good at that. It is quite active too, but... Ah, he did bait it. Okay, yeah. 50-50, right? We have no other button to get in. Leave JM alone. Yeah, I mean, like... JM is a stupid button, but also... It is like the one thing that sometimes salvages Ladiva neutral, right? So, okay, sure. So that's that first match against Bubs. The SSBA right there, by the way. I mean, right? You're so far behind there, you kind of like have to take a risk. And you could think like, oh, but they know that I'm behind. They know I have to take a risk, so I'm not gonna take a risk. Yes, but at that point, you're playing a mind game. It's a guess, right? And they just guess right. So I'm not gonna be like, hey, just guess right on your SSBA. That's not advice. Okay, sure. It's hard, man. I mean, it's hard, right? Like, what's happening to you in the neutral right now is, like, common. And that's why... Oh, okay, hold on. You could have... So what I like a lot of the times is, like, using far L a lot, you can, like, far M for a little bit, like, after some of these far Ls, right? You can far M to, like, get a little bit more, like, get them blocking a little bit longer and, like, get yourself a little bit closer. Far M does advance a little, right? It gets you a little bit closer. You can headbutt for a block string and all that, so... But like you're suffering in the neutral, but that's gonna happen in this matchup, right? Again, it's why it's so important to make the most of your turns. By the way, this little thing, it's not like better or worse. A lot of Ladivas that are better than me don't do this. I would have 6-2-3 here personally. Yes, H does more damage, but they can tech or not tech here. One of Strippin' Goat's replays. What's going on, Subar? Yeah, like they can choose whether or not to tech here, and it can make your Oki a little bit more inconsistent. This does a little bit more damage. It also builds a lot more meter, so sometimes I'll use it for the meter build, but you're at 100 meter here. I would have probably 6-2-3L to just for the more guaranteed Oki setup, but sure, they do tech. Ow. You just missed your meaty here, huh? Yeah, just like waited too long on the meaty. Stripping its replays would be very educational. True. It's like watching a guy beat up a bot. Yeah, I mean, like, you are, like, getting the shit beat out of you in the neutral. But again, I don't think... Like, it's not, like, too much more advice. Like it's just gonna be tough, man. Like, you when you found, like, good... yeah, like, you found openings, right? I mean, again, there's another argument here of, like, off this far M, Maybe you lariats this, right? Instead of EX lariating. Just to, like, get even more corner carry, right? Get even more damage, like, get him to you can get, like, an Oki situation off of this, right? Because if you lariat, you can then, like, close M, headbutt, close M, regular lariat or something, right? And then get Oki off this hit, right? That explains some things. That's why the timing of my Oki changes. Yeah, if, off the H, they can tech or not. The L is a hard knockdown, right? So I like using L a lot more, but like, maybe you could spend U Lariat here to get like, to put him, if you U Lariat here, he's almost in a guess for game situation after that combo, right? USPD could kill him, or the hit will kill him. Instead, you get this, which is like, it's okay, but also like, it's not quite as big of a difference. He's relatively safe here. Is better go for ult skill over Raging Strike confirms? I mean, it's more so that like, Ladiva does not need to spend Brave points for corner carry most of the time, right? So Brave points are a more precious resource than meter. So Ladiva, one of her strengths is that her corner carry is very good. You don't need to spend Raging Strike for corner carry or for damage in mid-screen. So in that sense, it'll be more, if you're gonna kill them, it's more damage to go, Raging Strike, close M, Raging Strike, close M, Raging Strike, close M. But if you're just going for corner carry, just spend the meter. She doesn't need to spend Brave points. So, like Swords sometimes might need to spend Brave points. Or someone else might need, like, Ferry might need to spend Brave points for corner carry. But Ladiva does not. And Brave points are, especially are for Ladiva, right, are they're the most important resource in the game. And meter is actually quite easy to come by. Like, one of the things in general is that Doro, you're spending a lot of time at 100 meter in this match. And, like, I wouldn't say, like, you Lariat right now. I'm saying in your combos, spend more meter. Ladiva's U skills are actually quite good. Like, she gets a lot out of spending meter in her combos. I mean, U Lariat, excuse me, goddamn. U Lariat alone, right? But then also, even like, the U anti-air grab or something. Oh, this is nice. Yeah, he's not ready for that because he was plus on block, right? Doing it off their plus frames is definitely a very sneaky time to do some nonsense like that. And he's dead. Unless, yeah, okay, I was like, even if you didn't do technical input, I don't think. Even if you didn't, he's smashing you. That's funny. To skip to the next one there. Well, I like that SSBA. Doing it off your opponent's plus frames is definitely a very nasty time to do it. Works pretty well. So I will say one thing in these like neutral situations, this guy's not crouching a lot. He's not ready for this. Out of a dash, right? Let me once again, this is one of those things I can show rather than telling. Out of a dash, right? So let's get Ladiva to sit still here. Also, very quickly, can I? Yeah, just real quick, just because we don't overlap too much with the audio, right? But out of a dash, all the lariats get faster, right? So like this is 18 frames. Out of a dash, right? It's 16. 16 frames, you're getting to the point, like 16 frames is unreactable, right? You're getting, like that is, no one is gonna react to that. Now, to be fair, it's a 1 frame reaction. So it's like, maybe, right? You can react in like 15 frames, then down back, right? To make a whiff. But like 16 frames is getting real fast. They have to be real on the ball. If you're like close to someone, Ladiva does have a bit of a jump scare option if they're not crouching already to just like do this, right? And like, that's a pretty decent way. Like, there's a lot of situations. Like, if you do it out of a dash, or not out of a dash, it's 18 frames, right? It's a big difference, right? But, same thing, by the way, goes for all of them, but realistically, the only, like, U Lariat doesn't get that much faster, and gets 1 frame faster. No, I think it might not even get any benefit at all. And the other ones are not really useful, right? But yeah, EX Lariat out of a dash, like, this is a nice little jump scare option to use every now and then. And, like, in this, like, middle distance, you guys, like, at this round start distance, and he's kind of middle distance where he's just kind of standing there. He's not, like, doing that much, right? He's kind of swinging out some buttons, things like this. Like, somewhere around here, I think it might have been a good idea to at least represent the option, right? Keep him a little bit, because then maybe he has to be like, oh, shit, like, now I have to down back in neutral. And if he's down backing in neutral, being afraid of EX Lariat, right, that is like, well, you just run in, you just 6XL him, right? You just run in and 6XL him and take your turn, right? So I think, like, dash EX Lariat is actually a surprisingly nice jump scare option. Ladiva, all of Ladiva's neutral revolves around jump scare options. She doesn't have any, like, good, fundamental, solid neutral outside of, like, her 2M, right? Or her far L. Oh, I didn't loop the Monster Hunter music. So sad. That's how I know I've been yapping for long enough. We went to a different theme. But yeah, so like she doesn't have any good, like, solid neutral outside of, like, her 2M's good for sure, and like far L's a fine button. But like it revolves around jump scaring your opponents, right? EX Lariat out of a dash, JM, right? Things like this. So a little bit more of that probably couldn't hurt you. Okay, sure. On my honor as a lady. Get his ass. Ow, ow, ow. On my lady as an honor, that's right. Never ask a lady, that's it. Just never ask a lady anything. I mean, I guess one thing too here is, this guy sure is shooting a lot of projectiles at a Ladiva with 100 meter, right? Like right here, I would, again, meter is easy to come by, turns are not, right? Think if you can ever trade meter to get a turn as Ladiva, do it all of the time, right? So, there's a lot of backwards movement coming out even after blocking a special. I mean, it is tough, like, if you're not in the range to, like, straight up SPD him or something, sure. But it's a little bit tough to contest Bubs in the mid-range. But right here, you have 100 meter. He threw black flies at you. He should, like, this should be an SBA, right? Spend 100 meter. He's also only on, you got to think two. He's on 2 brave points. If you SBA him right here, he's on 1 brave point. 1 brave point, low health, close to the corner against Ladiva. That's a nightmare situation, man. He's throwing a lot of these, like, even like that one right there. He's throwing a lot of these little poke black flies, right? You should be, like, in the zoner matchups, right? Your projectile invuln SBA is incredibly important, right? You titled this getting diffed by zoners. I don't see, like, any SBA coming out here, man. Like, what, you're blocking all these. Like, you're reacting to them somewhat, right? He should not feel this confident. He should feel very, very scared to throw projectiles. Like, you lariats here. You spend 50 meter, 32, I guess, because he blocks it. You spend 50 meter and risk a punish here to try and close the distance. You get a brave point off him, sure. But you could have gotten a guaranteed brave point, damage, and corner carry just by spending 100 meter instead, right? Do not sleep on Ladiva's projectile invuln SBA, especially in these zoner matchups. It's very important for her. I haven't seen you use it once yet. And to be fair, we're talking about 6 minutes of gameplay footage, but still. Okay, sure. Yeah. Again, man, like, so you reacted to this, right? You react to this and you start jumping. You're like, you super jump. So clearly you reacted to this because you super jump to try and get over the black flies, right? Don't do that. He's charging it, wait for a sec, wait for them to leave his hands, and then SBA him. He is like damn near dead for doing this. He's gonna take a ton of damage, he'll be on no brave points, and the corner carry from SBA will put him in the corner, no brave points, no health, 50-50, like truly light SPD or strike both kill him in the corner. Becco should die for what he did. What he just did there is a really bad idea. But instead you super jump, you block it, and now it's his turn, right? Right, like, use all, oh yeah, you got a spot dodge, that instant react, it's fine. Use a lot more, right there too, man. I mean, the double one is a little bit trickier, but like, use a lot more projectile invuln SBA in general, I would say, right? Owie. Like, I think you should have won that round, right? I think there were multiple opportunities to SBA through and kill him there, right? And it didn't quite happen. All right, sure. Good off the whiffed H there. I like taking the 6XL. Yeah, it is like, despite how slow she is and how small her 6XL is, it's definitely a good idea every now and then to just like run at people from full screen in 6XL, right? You want to mix up that, lariat, jumping, right? You want, like, your neutral approaches, none of them are good, but a lot of them are reaction checks, right? So you want to, like, be unpredictable so your opponent is less likely to be able to react to what you're doing. I mean, even like a U lariat every now and then, right? They're all reaction checks. In theory, right, Ladiva never gets in on a robot, right? She has no safe way to get in. But you're not fighting robots, you're fighting people. So you want to make them panic and pick the wrong option. Got it. So you have 100 meter, right? Again, like right there, that black flies, that shit's not safe, dog. That one too. He should die. He should have died right there. Should have died right there. I mean, not died, but he's like taking like a lot of damage and gotten corner carried. You would have gotten a turn, right? Yeah, you got hit by the Unisonic. So there's a couple of things here, right? I think the general idea here is that you need to make your turns matter when you get them, right? So hit confirming in the most painful possible way for your opponent. Right, so for example, the one far M you missed at the beginning, you gotta find those hit confirms into lariats. And if you have the meter, you gotta use ultimate lariat instead to get like more damage, more corner carry, get Oki off the hit, right, instead of just getting a little bit of damage. When you find the turn, make it count as much as you possibly can, and nothing is more important to Ladiva than getting a turn, right? Spending a brave point to get a turn, amazing. Spending meter to get a turn, oh my god. Like, spend 200% meter if you could, right? So you're being really precious. You're spending a lot of time at 100 meter with Ladiva. And like when you do spend it, you spend it for you lariats in neutral, which is, listen, it works sometimes, but it's a very risky option. If you're getting someone who's just throwing projectiles at you and you have 100 meter, kill them, right? Hit them with the SBA. Now, this is why this matchup sucks. Guess who doesn't have projectiles for most of their zoning, right? So like everything we just talked about, right? You can't really SBA through most of Ferry's nonsense. You can crush a lot of it, but that's also, kind of relies on a hard read. So this is, by the way, this is now a completely different matchup, right? Like, this is how you play against a projectile zoner like Bubs, and Becco very much was playing like a projectile zoner there, versus playing against Ferry. Complete 180. Here, the first thing you should do, just like as a check here, this is S+1. So again, Doro's gotten a lot better since then, right? But like, you should jump here. Okay, yeah. Perfect. Okay, he knows. He's doing it. You just jump at, like, Ferry is really bad at dealing with people jumping at her, right? Because outside of spending her EXDP, right, she's in a 50-50 when Ladiva jumps at her, right? Is Ladiva going to empty jump and air block my 2H and end up right next to me in my face? Is she going to do a JH and crush my 5M, which is my only, like, my most reliable air unblockable move? That is my DP, right? So jumping a lot's good. Jump scare EX Lariat is very good here too, right? It's another one of those matches where, like, you know, getting a turn is the most important thing. Like, do anything you can to get a turn. I like the jumping, right? Sure, yeah. Like, you're playing like a barbarian, but you kind of have to. You got to mix in some empty jumps every now and then. I mean, that's not going to help you against that for sure. But that was a nice little setup by that. Yeah, like, look at that. It like kicked you into the GG. Got that. That's pretty clean from that Ferry right there. But you have to. So again, to kind of like temper what I said a little bit, right? Ladiva's neutral entirely revolves around jump scaring your opponent and them not reacting fast enough. Being a little too slow on the draw and getting JM'd out of their 2H, right? Not crouching EX Lariats, not spot dodging U Lariats, right? Not reacting to just running up from full screen and 6XLing them and then now it's your turn, right? It all relies on a jump scare. Now, if all you're doing, though, is just jumping and being a gorilla, then it becomes predictable. Every now and then, you gotta, like, sit still. Every now and then, I mean, actually, a lot of times, you have to sit, you sit still most of the time to earn your right to suddenly be a gorilla, jump scare them, get your one chance, and kill them for it. Right. So, like, that's a big thing. That is, so, like, you gotta be like, it's all 0 or 100 with Ladiva. You know what I mean? Yeah, see, because again, if all you're doing ever is trying to, like, sneak your way in on them, they're gonna be a lot more ready for it. They're going to start doing things like, you know, spot dodging your U Lariats, hitting you out of your dashes, all that sort of stuff. It's a very tough matchup, right? But like perfect. Out of a dash would be even better, which I don't think you did. Yeah, right. Out of a dash, even better. But yeah, some jump scare EX Lariat every now and then. It's a great idea, man. It's a great, especially if they're not already like crouching a bunch. Yes, but again, same thing. You kind of like mix up some empty jumps in there, man. To not to because I think Beppo is air blockable. Actually, it's only the heavy and ultimate ones that aren't. You gotta mix in some empty jumps at Ferry every now and then to make her hesitate to do her air blockable stuff. Okay. Okay. I like the jumping. It's like all you're doing though, right? The ground approach is also important again. Even though the jump approach is the best thing to do at Ferry. Oh, and again, man, listen. You had Lariat here, right? You got it back right there. You have to make these hits count. You found the hit on... I was like, oh, awesome. You found the hit on Ferry, right? If you wanted to, you could like do a reset here into Rating Strike and kill her off this hit, potentially. But you gotta make this count. And you're just not hitting it, unfortunately. If you actually go over Sieg and Bub's Fireball with Super Jump, you get a punish. Depends on the spacing a little bit, but yeah, sure. It can work. Sieg can certainly 2H you for it in a lot of distances too. Yeah, like, all you're doing is jumping. Now, at first I was like, you gotta jump. And I was like, oh, cool. When you jumped, I was like, cool. But like, you're either jumping or you Lariating, right? You gotta have a little bit of ground game every now and then. Funny enough, like, Ladiva's roll is pure ass. Yeah, I did see Charger was playing Ladiva, that's fun. Ladiva's roll is pure ass, right? But Ferry has so much recovery on her moves. If she's like not doing a 2M or something, like rolling through that far M, she keeps throwing at you. Rolling through like the jumping, the Wilson jumping, right? The Koji. That like it's good stuff. It helps you get a little bit of safe distance in on them, right? You got 6XM right there, yeah, sure. But like, I mean, the big thing here is certainly just like you're just jumping too much. Like jumping is the best approach option at Ferry. And you understand that, and therefore you are doing nothing but that. But that's not the way, man. You gotta mix in the other approach options too to make yourself, and sometimes you gotta mix in standing still to make yourself unpredictable. You are currently not very unpredictable, right? Okay, sure. Like you're either like down backing or jumping or you Lariating, right? I understand. Trust me, bro. I desperately understand the need to get in on Ferry in this. Like I understand how bad you feel right now, right? But you gotta earn it. You gotta earn your way in a little bit more. Out. You also watch your toes a lot more. You're getting clipped low a lot here. Remember GG? Yeah, GG's not an overhead, right? He comes at you from high, but he's not an overhead. You can crouch block him because a lot of Ferries will like to like if they see you stand block GG, they're gonna 2M you, right? GG is not an overhead. GG a toe fiend confirmed. Very true. Yeah, same little setup there and you die. Yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna be a lot of the same, right? You're just a little too. Like I think you recognize again the jumping is the best thing to do at Ferry, but you gotta do other stuff too, man. You gotta do other stuff too. You can't just be jumping, right? You gotta represent like other approach options. That I mean, dashing at her is good there. It's something at least, right? Some dashing Lariats, some down backing, some just walking forward, some walk and block, man. As much as it sucks, some walk and block every now and then, you will gain distance slowly, right? You will gain distance slowly if you just do some walk and block, right? Some empty jumps, right? Like this, yeah, you have lots of different approach options, and you gotta represent all of them somewhat equally, right? And not just like jumping 95% of the time, you lariating 4% of the time, and then like doing something else 1% of the time, right? Because the Ferry just knew what you were doing. Yeah, true. Also, yeah, walking builds meter, right? Now, to be fair, meter is not as useful against Ferry as it is against every other zoner, because you lariat, besides you lariat is like, right? But like, and your projectile invul and SBA outside of the Koji, which again, any good Ferry is just like not gonna throw that thing when Ladiva has 100 meters. She has other zoning options, right? Or if they do throw it out, they're gonna be like very, very like timid about it. They're gonna be like very rarely throwing it out. So like meter is not as useful against Ferry as it is against every other zoner, but it's still something. When you find that hit on her, you can use the meter to make it count a lot more, right? Ooh, Uno. This is a tough one, man. Yeah. Again, out of the zoner matchups. Yeah, no, true. Walking is bro. Listen, man. The reason walking is good is you can block immediately out of a walk. You can't do that out of a dash, right? So a dash is a commitment to an extent. Yeah, but Uno's tough. Uno's tough. So the thing about Uno is, one, let's just focus on some knowledge check here stuff possibly. See if you're catching all the. So his on the one hand, his defense is kind of good for us to deal with because he has a parry. On the other hand, he can jump back and do his little throw baits, right? And blow you up for that. Headbutt worked out there. I'm not sure that quite. See, the other thing about the spinning slashes, or sorry, the Rakshasas, these things from Uno are fast enough that headbutting them is not really reasonable, right? So building meter is a little bit tougher in this match, but again, walking builds you meter, right? I like the JM there, right? Oh, okay, just a little bit out of range of the SPD, sure. But yeah, Uno's tough, man. Uno's not an easy matchup for Ladiva in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, I mean, in that case, you should have JU'd, but it's more so I don't think you expected that to be a cross-up situation, right? His far H does just move forward a lot, though. So you got to be careful about that. Yeah, I mean, Uno, it's tough. It is tough, right? This actually is one of the harder zoner matchups because he doesn't just crumble when you get up to him either, right? Like most of the zoners, right? Matera, Ferry, whatever, right? Like when you get in on them, suddenly they're like, they're dead meat, right? Uno can defend himself pretty decently, again, mostly because SPDing him is a good idea against his parry, but it is a very bad idea against his throw baits, right? He can jump back, dive kick, and combo you for SPDing very easily, right? So, like, Uno is one of the tougher matchups I think in the game for Ladiva. He's Ferry pilled for sure. Like he's about, and he doesn't have lower than average health either, right? Like Uno might be worse than Ferry. It's hard to say. They're both bad matchups, but yeah, I mean, just kind of getting your shit rocked in the corner here. It's like I wish I had like better advice for you, right? But like you are just like, I mean, like I guess a little more blocking, right? You are trying to. He can't loop infinite safe zoning forever, right? When he hits you, he gets his safe cooldowns back and gets to do it again, though, right? Like, and a lot of this, if he's not spending a resource, if he's not spending a cooldown on something, when you block it, you can usually get a little bit of distance. I will also say, in general, like rolling these Rakshasas, that's a great idea. You're trying to jump it so much. Rolling these, they have quite a bit of recovery to them. He can do like 1 into the EX right away. I think if you roll early enough, you'll be safe from that. But even if he does do that, he spends a cooldown to do that, right? So, like a little bit more roll. Ladiva's roll sucks, right? But it is also necessary in the zoning matchups, right? It is the worst roll in the game. It is the only roll that is, like every roll is the same, and Ladiva has the single bottom one roll that is 33 frames instead of 29, right? But it's also necessary. Despite it being horrible, you have to use it, right? And right now you just keep trying to jump out and keep getting clipped for it, right? I understand you want to jump at these zoners, but yeah, more options, more mental stack. You got to represent other approach options, so he can't just do the same thing over and over and kill you for it. Because right now he's mostly just doing the same loop of like, you know, Rakshasa spear, Rakshasa spear, Rakshasa spear, right? And he's not even spending cooldowns on it because like you're just getting jailed by it, right? So like it's in the Bubs matchup. He's not a pure zoner. You're getting a lot more turns, right? But we're still talking about like, you know, make sure your turns matter, maximize the effect of your turns, and do anything you can to get a turn. Funny enough, you're do anything you can except just like blatantly like give up your entire health bar, right? You can, by the way, to an extent, use your health bar as a resource in these zoning matchups and kind of have to, right? It's one of your advantages. You have 18,000 health, but you're just being too belligerent here, right? Like 7 times in a row you've JM'd. Now, to be fair, you're probably playing on tilt a little bit at this point. But again, it's what the zoner is designed to do, is to get you to be... You're designed to get the zoner afraid. They are... I think knowing this is very important, right? Knowing what your opponent's emotional goal is. Every character has a game plan. But also, every character, every archetype has an emotional goal, right? They're trying to get you to feel a certain emotion. Ladiva, grapplers, And Vasaraga, for example, too, easy. It's fear, right? They want you scared. They want you scared of the command grab, so you jump and you get murdered, right? Fear. Like, it's not a joke, right? It's like, oh, it's a video game. No, no, no. The grappler is designed to make you scared, right? And the big body, Vasaraga, same idea. The zoner is designed to make you frustrated, right? They're designed to, like, you know, tip tap. You're not taking a lot of damage every time. Every time you're getting like tapped, you keep getting hit. Everything you do seems to get you hit. Every option seems to be wrong, and you're like, you know what? Fuck it, and you do what you just did right there, which is JM 7 times in a row because you're playing on tilt. When you know that the literal #1 goal, the game plan, the goal of your opponent is to frustrate you, in a weird way, I think it makes it a lot easier to not get frustrated, right? Because suddenly you realize, like, oh shit, like, getting frustrated is giving them exactly what they want. The best thing I can do here is stay calm, and it becomes like part of the game. Not getting frustrated becomes like less of an emotional, like, human being thing, and it's just like, oh no, like, wait, this is a video game. Like, the part of the video game is to make me frustrated. All I have to do is not be frustrated. That sounds stupid. Maybe I'm autistic, and that's why I can think that way. But like, that helps me, at least, right? Because you are very clearly playing on tilt at this point. But you have to play calm against these zoners, because look, it's the only thing you do. It's the only thing you do is JM at him, right? Headbutt won't beat Rakshasa even if it hits. It does get blasted anyways. Depends on the version of it. Yeah, if it's one of the multi-hit versions. But honestly, like, taking the hits to get some meter, it could be worth it. But also, most of the time, you're not even gonna get the meter. It's too fast. Most of the time, you just get hit and get nothing for it, right? Okay. Yeah. Sure. I like the brave counter, right? Using your brave counters to like sort of aggressively like that to keep your turn going. But what happened here? So you brave countered him, and then what? Why'd you lose your turn here? Yeah, you're too focused on trying to bait DPs, right? Happened again with the bubs too. Listen, man, if Uno parries you, you lose your turn, right? But like, it's fine. Like this you have to represent, like, you have to represent that you're going to take your turn so every now and then, right? To even like get them to parry, right? You do have to, like, you have to actually like hit them every now and then. Okay, not bad. Good SPD on the parry. Again, I recognize that probably Doro, you know, understands a lot of this now, but still, if you're a Ladiva in a similar spot as Doro was back then, I mean, Doro's now a master Ladiva. Even versus Light Rakshasa, it beats it clean. Really interesting. I could have sworn I have gotten the meter for it at least. I know for a fact I may have gotten hits, but I've gotten meter out of it. Okay, good. You found the hit. Will you kill him? Yes, looks like it. Oh no, wait, is he dead? Oh god. Okay. Yeah, man, spend the Raging Strike here, right? Like, he's like, I know, like, maybe you don't want to watch the full cutscene, but like, no, like, just Raging Strike, close H, right? Like, why not make sure that he's dead? Because, like, maybe you thought that he would be dead here, but like, even as soon as I saw it, I'm like, wait, this is like close. He might have been dead. He's not, right? Again, it comes down to, I mean, I like the attempt at the J-Man there. I do like it, but it comes down again to, like, you got to make these turns count, right? You have to make these turns count when you get them. And I think that's one of the big things that was holding your Ladiva back, right? Because you've seen, like, think about it this way. You have experienced how frustrating it is as Ladiva to find a turn versus Uno, versus Ferry, versus Bubs, right? I mean, especially Uno and Ferry more so, right? But like, so you understand how rare these turns are. Don't be like, yeah, but I don't want to watch the full Raging Strike cutscene. You know, like, don't try to save, like, no, man, the turns are very, very rare. Make the most, like, do everything. Make the most you can out of them when you find them. That's good, by the way. These are all of Uno's grounded spins are minus on block, except the U1. And minus but safe, that is not a thing against Ladiva. This is already like a relatively high-level concept that Doro seems to understand here. That's very good. Being minus on block but safe against Ladiva is not a good thing if you're in LSPD range. This means you're in a 50-50. So this is like, that's some very good stuff from Doro right there. But just so you know, to point out, to give credit where credit is due, because I'm talking a lot about what he's been doing wrong. That SPD there is very clever. Okay, sure. You know, I've got to be a little bit, I mean, I also have the exact same problem. But against meterless DP characters, just like autopiloting into headbutt pressure, it can definitely just get you blown up a lot, right? It's a bit of a problem. Yep. I feel you, man. I like, he just guessed you were against 6XL in and parried, right? Again, like, funny enough, despite the fact that, like, you want to get in so bad, a little bit of patience, right, is going to be the thing that's going to get you in more often than not. It's like some Buddhist shit, dog. Like, desire is the root of all evil. If you just chill for a sec and don't think about how badly you want to get in, you're gonna have a better time, right? Yeah, I mean, it's tough. It's a very hard matchup, right? It's like, Uno, I think, is in discussion. What the hell is this? Interesting. It's like not even. This ain't my algorithm. Chronic illness in the music industry? A guy talking about books? I guess. Huh, whatever. Anyways. The point is that, yeah, like, Uno is very tough. These matchups are very tough, right? But I would say overall, Doro, which again, you probably understand a lot of this better now, but from what I saw right there, you have to make your turns count a lot more when you find them, either by really nailing down your hit confirms, right? So you missed a couple of hit confirms that were pretty bad, all right? Or not pretty bad, but like, you know, pretty important 2 hits rather, right? Or if you're gonna hit confirm anyway, do the most damaging, the most beneficial thing off that hit. So, you know, if you get a far M and you can ult lariat instead of EX lariat, do it, especially in these zoner matchups, because you have to make your turn count as much as you possibly can, because it's hard to find. And don't be afraid to spend meter. You don't spend that much meter on Ladiva. Meter comes really easily in this game, right? And Ladiva needs to spend that meter sometimes to get Oki off the hit, you know? Or spend like a Raging Strike, even if you don't have any meters, to get Oki off the hit, right? Use your projectile invul and SBA against these projectile zoners. It's a very good move. It's like, when Ladiva has 100 meter, that projectile zoner matchup, whether it's Matera, Bubs, Uno to an extent, right? Not Ferry, but it like flips on its head. Suddenly they're like, oh, god damn, like what do I do, right? Especially if they're a character like Matera, who like everything they do is a projectile. Matera has to be very careful when Ladiva has 100 meters. Same thing with, Becco, right? Same thing with that Bub, same thing with Uno, right? So use that more, right? If you get a hit, right? Like, don't, like, it happened with the Uno. Do the most damage you can, right? Don't do, if you know, it's an optimal and you're not confident doing it, sure. Like a Raging Strike into a close H. It's not harder than doing 6-2-3H there, right? Do the thing that does the most damage to get a kill. And then, overall, I would say, when you're fighting zoners, again, remember, they are literally, it's not like a joke, it's not like a meme, I'm not like molding. They are designed to annoy you, right? You are designed to make people scared. They are designed to annoy you. So, if you think about it like that, getting annoyed is almost like it's your lose condition, right? Controlling your emotions is your win con in the zoner matchup. In fighting games in general, sure, but especially against a character that is literally designed to annoy you, you can't let yourself get annoyed. You have to, because you were like, by the end there, you were just up forwarding. You were up forward jamming, up forward jamming, up forward jamming. You jammed like 9 times in a row in a round against that Uno, right? You can't do that, man. You can't. I understand it. I understand it deeply, but you can't do that. Then the option of rolling in that matchup. Yep. But Raha telling you to roll through Ferry's projectiles. That's right, right? Ferry, even though Ladiva's roll is ass, right? Ferry has a lot of recovery. Zoners in general have a lot of recovery on the projectiles. It's the thing that makes them balanced, and not just like able to keep you out forever, right? So like, you have to roll. You have to roll. Despite Ladiva's, the reason they made Ladiva's roll ass is because roll is necessary in some of these zoner matchups, and they wanted to make Ladiva weaker to zoners. They made her roll horrible, right? But that doesn't mean you don't use it. You still have to use it, unfortunately, right? Cool. Well, that was 51 minutes, honestly, for a 17-minute video about Ladiva. I'll take that. I'll take that. I'll take that. But yeah, Doro, again, it's been a month, right? I take a while to get to these, but I'm sure, again, you've learned a lot of this. But if you're any kind of Ladiva, and honestly, some of this is still fundamental too, right? If you hope you guys found this, you know, somewhat entertaining / education. That is going to do it for this replay review right here. Steam maintenance, I hope, should be done, so we'll go play some Swords and see how we can get on. But yeah, that is... He got to Masters in a month from S+. Well, he was S+, he was in that, like, S++5, S+1, like, Vortex, right? But yeah. I mean, yeah, Doro, you know, he's a quick learner, obviously. So again, most of the things that I have said now might not be relevant to Doro, but if you're a Ladiva and you're an S+ or S rank or something like that, this is probably stuff you need to hear, right? But yeah, as always, YouTube. For stream, we're going to play some Swords in a second here for YouTube. Hope you had a great time. Any kind of like, subscribes, comments, bells, always appreciate on this sort of thing. Especially, again, the replay reviews, still not like exactly a mainstay, right? We've only done like maybe, I think it's still in like single-digit replay reviews that have been done on the channel here. So, you know, let me know if you like them, if you want more of them. Besides that, I also stream every day from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern. Every day except Fridays, that is. So be sure to come by, hang out. It's a great time. I think we enjoy ourselves around here. I also have a Discord server right here. You're looking at it, right? People post replay reviews, but also people just talk about, you know, the game. They talk about random stuff. You can make, it's not all just like fighting game grind either. Lots of friends to make there too. So I encourage you to join. If you do join though, be nice or I'll shoot you in the head in Minecraft. Most importantly, hope you had a great time hanging out today. As always, I know I sure did. Always good to see the, you know, the fellow Ladivas grinding and getting better. I mean, again, knowing that Doro got to Master after this is very heartening for sure. But yeah, having a lot of fun with Granblue. Gonna be a lot more coming your way. And until then, I will see you in the next one. Peace.